It has now been nearly a week since the US presidential election was called, and the reactions have been mixed, to say the least. But what I'm curious about is this. What are the fallout effects going to be? Not just in terms of the immediate, but longer term. And first of all, a thing to address is that even though this is the desired result of this election, it's only this election. It'll only take one election cycle for things to potentially get worse. And we don't even know at this time what this election cycle is going to look like. But looking at events prior to the election, it's going to be interesting to see how things move forward. There was definitely a note of division within the ranks of the Republican Party, with establishment Republicans vehemently disagreeing with what has been dubbed the MAGA Republicans. So going forward, what will the sway look like between the establishment and the MAGA Republicans? Considering how the new wave of Republican has won the popular vote, it could be a fair assumption that they could move forward against the establishment Republicans, but the establishment is the establishment. Despite this being the new wave and having the popular vote, the establishment is still the foundation of the party. And especially if you consider the next elections. It's all very well and good to say that Trump won this time, but that's Donald Trump. That is the once-in-a-lifetime nomination. Can the MAGA Republicans win again with a new nominee? Could J.D. Vance, now Vice President, be the next nominee? It's entirely possible, but it would all depend on if he won. Which is all dependent on how good of a job is done. And already in light of Trump's win, there's already been a sign of at least passive improvement, with several world leaders including Putin being up for ceasefire or for negotiations with America, something not seen in the 4 years of the Biden administration. And almost immediately after Trump's re-election, the value of the US dollar skyrocketed. So passively, it already looks as though things are equalizing once more. But that is again dependent on how things fare moving forward. Because much like the stocks, the value of currency is always moving, is always differentiating depending upon events. But now let's talk about what is actually relevant here. What will this election have impact on in terms of the UK? First, it must be stated that as the US is the most powerful country in the Western world, it is going to have carryover effects into the UK, as with many other countries. Not just in terms of foreign policy, but also in terms of what national policies could look like. Already it's known that Keir Starmer has made some choice comments concerning Trump, so it looks as though their working relationship could stagnate or be tense. That is, if they cannot move forward, if they cannot work together, which hopefully they can, but you never know. It's two-tier Keir, can't put anything past him. The question will therefore be if Starmer can see where the tide is turning and move forwards, or whether he will double down and remain Keir Starmer. The biggest impact, I think, is going to be in terms of the Reform Party. It's fairly common knowledge that Donald Trump and Nigel Farage are friends with each other. So if Starmer and Trump cannot have a good working relationship together, then maybe we'll have assurance that Farage will have that voice within Parliament, within the House of Commons, to deliver or champion those similar policies. Because a lot of the policies that America voted for are the same policies that Reform are fighting for over here. And so a Trump win could bolster Reform's claim, could bolster their votes, but that is all dependent on the next vote, which is in about 5 years. So first of all is the question of what will the country look like in the next 5 years, but also is the question of what will America look like and will that bolster Reform's claim? As well as how strong the policy of Reform remains. Because lately it has kind of been looking as though Farage is moving quite centrist, so will he stay on the party line, stay towing the party line rather, or will he remain true to the policies of which he was elected for? Ultimately, the UK needs a similar movement to MAGA. It needs MEGA, Make England Great Again. But the question is whether Farage, now he is in that position to be that voice in the House of Commons, will he remain true to his policies? Will he be bolstered by this success and push Reform further, to continue campaigning so that Reform can be the strong opposition? As, let's be honest, Conservatives have only proven that they're diet Labour. So can Reform truly stand as a true opposition, a true right-wing party? Or will they move more centrist, toe the party line, and will they betray the policies that they were elected for? Will Nigel Farage only prove himself to be making moves as a career politician? Or will we see something being championed for England? Let me know of your thoughts down below, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next video. And until next time everyone, be seeing you.